Right now on WQAD News 8 at 9, pothole problems. The permanent damage winter is leaving on the pavement. What drivers can do to get the problem fixed more quickly. And a last-second survival story. One man crawls out of his home moments before the wall collapses. Just ahead, we'll take you to the scene of that house explosion that should have killed everyone inside.
Now, live from WQAD, News 8 at 9 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Johnny Gendrich. More on those stories in a moment, but first we begin in Muscatine tonight, where the city council members have unanimously voted to move forward with a hearing to remove Mayor Diana Brodersen from office. It's the latest move after months of bad blood. The mayor took office in 2016 and has already been stripped of her power of appointment of key officials. Muscatine City and Iowa Code says a mayor can be removed by the city council under certain circumstances, including corruption, extortion, or willful misconduct. The council hasn't given a reason for the push to remove Mayor Brodersen, and that angers some people who voted for her.
You, the council, say that you may have specifics, but yet you don't give any of us, the citizens who voted for this mayor, what your specifics may-haves are. Iowa law states that you, the council, do not have a choice in who is appointed. The mayor has that. And for you, the council, to have that choice, you must change Iowa law. Ousting the mayor isn't going to change the law, ladies and gentlemen.
A date and time for that hearing has yet to be announced. A man wanted on several warrants is in custody tonight after he led police on a foot chase into a busy Walmart. The superstore in Clinton was on lockdown for nearly 3 hours this morning. That's where police arrested 35-year-old Jacob Daw of Clinton. Police say Daw first ran from officers when they found him at the Wild Rose Casino. He then ran into a Walmart less than a mile away. Police found him hiding in a sales bin there. Initially, Daw was thought to have a gun, but police don't think it was brought inside the store, and no one was hurt.
We had very good communications amongst the inside, the outside, and all the agencies, and we all knew what every other person was doing, and which shows by the positive result that we had. A wanted subject was taken into custody without any harm to the business, structure-wise, or the employees or the customers. It was a good result, so it was great.
Clinton police say Jacob Daw is wanted for 7 different warrants with additional charges pending. A Kewanee man remains hospitalized after his home exploded Wednesday afternoon while he was inside. Remarkably, 65-year-old Eddie Bickers managed to escape without life-threatening injuries. News 8's John David tells us why it's a real survival story.
By all accounts in Kewanee,
it really rocked the ground.
This home explosion should kill Eddie Bickers.
You know, the flames were high.
The 65-year-old man inside on his computer around 4 Wednesday afternoon.
He's very sweet. He's one of the nicest guys.
He gave the shirt off his back for somebody that he didn't even know.
Maybe kindness giving him strength to crawl out before his house collapses. Fortunate to get out with second-degree burns, putting him in the hospital. In Thursday's daylight, all of this damage is even harder to look at, but it's even more amazing that their friend and neighbor was able to escape. Charred debris is like a snapshot in time, the blast burying a bike and boat, planting a picture frame, yet leaving a row of cans in place.
Some of the debris from his house ended up across the way here.
The strange scene attracting plenty of drive-by onlookers. His cousin, Sherry Nimrick, lives next door, where damage spread.
We had some windows broken and such, so like I said, we're all okay, and Eddie's okay. That's all that matters.
While Eddie has insurance, dealing with this won't be easy.
It's difficult whenever it happens to anybody, you know, it's a terrible thing. The guy's without a house.
From day to day, you don't know what's going to happen, really. I mean, you never know in life. Something could happen really fast.
And just as fast, friends are coming to the rescue.
Man, I'm praying for him because going through this, it's hard. It's tough.
Yet, not tough enough for a survivor who beat the blast. In Kewanee, John David, WQAD News 8.
Firefighters are investigating what caused the blast. They suspect it was a gas explosion from something inside the home. Rock Island County investigators are still trying to figure out if any charges will be filed against the driver accused of killing a bicyclist back in December. Witnesses say Bob Moldenhauer, otherwise known as the Can Man, was crossing the street with his bike when he was hit by a van. Neighbors in the area say the man was homeless and collected aluminum cans for money. Investigators say they're still deciding if they will file charges against the driver. Turning to weather now, and it was an icy morning for people south of the Quad Cities, but it won't be long before that ice returns. Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist James Zahara joins us with when we could expect to see our next winter weather.
Yeah, things are going to get a little dicey, and not for the entire weekend, which is some good news, I guess you can say, but certainly at the later end of the weekend, things are going to get a little tricky on those roadways. But all those roadways now are pretty dry. Temperatures are in the lower 20s, upper teens, after seeing daytime highs right around the mid-20s. Currently in the Quad Cities, 21, some broken clouds about. Not much of a wind out there, but just enough to drop those wind chills in the lower teens. And things will get quite dicey for areas certainly to our south and west as we go through this weekend, especially in portions of Kansas and Missouri. What a mess this is going to be with maybe 3/4 of an inch of ice likely. That should produce a lot of power outages and terrible road conditions, that's for sure. And as you can see, there is a small portion of our viewing area under a winter storm watch. We'll tell you when that takes effect and who's going to be impacted by some of this ice coming up in just a few minutes. Johnny?
All right, thanks, James. It was a rough morning for some parts of Illinois after freezing rain moved through overnight. Ice caused train passengers to be stranded for more than 5 hours. The train wasn't able to make it up a small hill, so operators had to call in another engine to push it back to the nearest station. Cold weather means Quad City road crews are busy filling potholes and looking for new ones. City officials in Moline say public work crews are always keeping an eye out for potholes on busier streets like 6th Avenue. Workers say that constant traffic hitting the same spots only makes these potholes worse. One thing that does help is when drivers let Public Works know if and where there are problems.
Anywhere that anybody's going to drive, they need to be aware of them, and if they see them, certainly report them and to slow down as they see that stuff, and if they can avoid them at all possible, you know, they certainly want to do that. The last thing anybody wants to do is deal with any sort of damage to their vehicle.
Moline has a pothole hotline you can call if you do see a problem. Davenport and Bettendorf also have the option of calling the city or filling out a pothole repair request online. The Justice Department Inspector General has launched a probe into how the department and the FBI handled the investigations into Hillary Clinton's private email server. The probe will include a review of FBI Director James Comey's news conference back in July and his 2 letters to lawmakers in late October and early November, right ahead of the election. The email investigation was an issue on the presidential campaign trail. Clinton and her supporters believe it hurt her presidential bid. Vice President Joe Biden was honored today. What was supposed to be a farewell turned into an award ceremony when President Barack Obama gave Biden the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
This also gives the internet one last chance to talk about our bromance. If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, you've got a problem. He is as good a man as God ever created. The Presidential Medal of Freedom.
As you can see there, Biden was visibly emotional during that ceremony. President Obama called him his brother, a lion of public service, and a devoted friend. Biden then joked about their bromance, and he thanked his wife Jill before promising to continue to serve our country. There's much more to come right here on WQAD News 8 at 9. Still ahead, confidence questioned. The Trump cabinet nominee causing controversy and splitting the Senate, with one top congressional leader voicing strong opposition. And ready to roll, the first step the new Congress is planning to take tomorrow to roll back the Affordable Care Act.
You're watching WQAD News 8 at 9 with Johnny Gendrich.